You probably believe you're in control of your life. Every decision you make, every habit you follow, every risk you avoid, it all feels like it's coming from the present version of you. Your thoughts, your fears, your desires. But what if that isn't entirely true? What if a version of you that doesn't even exist yet is already influencing the choices you're making today? Not through time travel, not through fate, but through something far more subtle, the image of your future self, right now, inside your mind. There are multiple versions of you living simultaneously. There's the person you were 5 years ago, there's the person you are today, and there's the person you imagine becoming, and strangely enough, that imagined future version of you often has more power over your decisions than the present one. You might not notice it, but your life is constantly being negotiated between these different versions of yourself. The present you wants comfort, the future you demands discipline, the past you whispers regrets, and somewhere in the middle, you try to decide who to listen to. Psychologists call this future self-continuity. It's the idea that the more vividly you can imagine your future self, the more influence that version of you has over your current behavior. In other words, the clearer the person you imagine becoming, the more control that imaginary person gains over the life you're living right now. Think about saving money. Logically, it's simple: spend less, save more. But emotionally, it's incredibly difficult, because when you save money, you're essentially sacrificing something today for someone who doesn't exist yet, your future self. You are giving up comfort now for the benefit of a stranger who will exist years from now. And the strange thing is, the brain often treats that future self as if they are literally another person. This is why it's so easy to procrastinate. When you delay a difficult task, you are unconsciously handing the responsibility to a future version of you. A version you assume will somehow be more motivated, more disciplined, more capable. But when tomorrow arrives, you are still the same person. And now the burden that yesterdays you avoided lands directly on your shoulders. Philosophers have been fascinated by this strange relationship between time and identity for centuries. The ancient philosopher Seneca once wrote that most people live as if they will live forever, constantly postponing the life they actually want to live. We assume there will always be more time, more chances, more motivation later. But the future self we rely on so heavily may never become the person we imagine. And that's where the quiet danger begins. Because your imagined future self isn't just influencing your habits, it's shaping your entire identity. Think about the goals you chase, the career you pursue, the lifestyle you believe will make you happy. Most of these choices are built around an idea of who you believe you should become: a successful you, a respected you, a disciplined you. And sometimes, this imagined person becomes so powerful that you start living for them instead of living as yourself. You sacrifice experiences today for achievements tomorrow. You delay joy, you delay rest, you delay life, all because you believe your future self will finally feel satisfied. But there's a strange paradox hiding here. Your future self is not a destination. It's a moving target. The moment you reach the version of yourself you once dreamed about, your mind immediately creates another future version that still needs improvement. Another milestone, another goal, another upgrade. And suddenly the life you've been chasing keeps moving further away. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche warned about this endless chase. He believed many people live their lives not according to who they truly are, but according to an idealized version of themselves that society tells them they should become. And when that happens, you stop living authentically. You start performing. Your life becomes a constant attempt to impress a future version of yourself that may never feel satisfied. But here's the deeper twist. Your future self is not only controlling your ambitions, it's controlling your fears. Think about the risks you avoid, the conversations you postpone, opportunities you hesitate to take. Often the reason isn't present danger. It's future embarrassment, future failure, future regret. You imagine a future version of yourself looking back and judging the decision you're about to make. So you hesitate, you shrink, you play it safe. In other words, the person you might become tomorrow is already influencing what you dare to do today. And the strange thing is, that future version of you doesn't actually exist. It's a projection, a guess, a mental story. Yet it silently shapes your behavior every day. Some people become prisoners of their future selves. They sacrifice every moment of the present, trying to build the perfect life later. Others do the opposite. They ignore the future completely, living only for immediate pleasure and leaving their future selves to deal with the consequences. Both extremes are forms of surrender, because in both cases, you are allowing an imagined version of yourself to dominate the present moment. True wisdom might lie somewhere in between. A balance between honoring the future and living fully in the present. Your future self should guide you, but it should not control you. Because the only version of you that can actually live life is the one sitting here right now. Not the one from yesterday. Not the one from 10 years from now. Just you. Right now. And the choices you make today will eventually become the past of someone you haven't met yet, your future self. So maybe the real question isn't, what would my future self want me to do? Maybe the deeper question is, what kind of past do I want my future self to remember? Because one day, you will wake up as that future version of yourself, looking back, judging the choices you're making right now. And when that moment comes, the person controlling your life today will no longer be imaginary. It will be you. Thanks for watching.